Welcome back to Being Blackout, where we hear no evil, see no evil, and speak no evil. I'm Blackout, and today I want to tell you about how my family member plotted to steal my dog with his girlfriend. So let's get into it. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. So the year was 2024. Last year, when I got my puppy, it was such a cute little dog, and everybody was trying to steal him. No, I'm just kidding. But so I guess I'm just gonna try to make it short because I did record this and it was a little bit long, so I'm trying to make it snippy snappy. Okay. So hopefully my mic is okay because it's been acting a little crazy. I wonder if it'll be okay if I hold it. Is this better? Hopefully this is better. So my family member needed a place to stay, and I know about this family member. He stayed with a few different family members, and he was not the best person to stay with. I've spoken to him when he stayed with another family member of mine. I played games with him and his girl. I met her then. I didn't know this was going to be the same girl. This is important because I didn't know it was going to be the same girl. But because I seen him with a different girl, it seemed like they were together. And so this was a few years apart from when I met her to when they were trying to move in. So I found out him and his girl was pregnant and they wanted to place to move in. They asked my mom, or he asked my mom, and because he found out, people was over here like, why don't you go ask her? So I'm recently like fully blind or almost fully blind, and I didn't like that. I don't trust him with a, no, I don't know him from a can of paint. He is not, I've spoken to him. I have nothing personally against him, but I know how, he's a bullshitter. And I've spoken to him and he stayed with multiple different people, but it was always their fault. He never did anything wrong. Everybody wanted to try to whoop your ass, but you ain't did nothing. You were just sitting there minding your own business. Come on now, I know something's wrong. These are even the person that is the sweetest person that takes in everybody wants to kick you out. Why? Like I heard about him threatening people and all kinds of things, not wanting to clean. He not really paying the bills. He had a job. He don't go to work. So this is not to talk shit. This is just what I know about him and what I'm feeling at this moment, right? So my mom, she wants to try to be a nice person or try to be not selfish, and she was like, if I was on the street and I needed help, I want someone to help me. I'm like, yeah, but he's not a person that needs help, really. He's not necessarily don't need help. It's just that he's not a person that is like struggling for help. He's a person that's choosing not to do. There's a difference between someone who's trying and wants to do, and then versus someone who's not trying and just wants someone to hand it to him and do everything for them. And he was the latter. He wants someone to just hand him everything, and he doesn't really do much, and he just coasts and do whatever he wants to do. So the girl on the other, I remember saying like, do whatever you can do, but I'm over here talking to God, praying to God, like, please don't let this happen if this is not what you want. And I didn't think it was, I seen the answers. He shouldn't be here, and I was like, God, well, don't let it happen if he's not, you don't want him here. So I remember throwing like a temper tantrum, a little bit of a fit, not to my mom, not to God, but necessarily just. I was talking to God, I was in the middle of praying, and I remember stomping my foot in anger. I was like, what am I, child? Like, no. So I switched up. I was like, God, I had to check myself. God, just give me the strength to make sure I don't get harmed in this. And, if he has to be here, then he has to be here. And just let me, be safe and you be with me and guide me, whatever. So I seen that he wasn't supposed to be here. And so my mom, she already decided she was going to go ahead and come. But for whatever reason, he didn't come. It didn't happen. I was like, cool, yes, okay, great. Then let's fast forward about 6 months, several months later. And then he's coming back again. There's a family member that he's been leeching off of that's trying to get him in here. And, he's going to pay for him to come, help pay the rent or whatever. And my mom still trying to be a godly woman or would be not selfish, and that's her. She's like, I don't want to be like that. Or I'm like, there's people that got to go to suffering. Well, this is what I said the first time. Like, well, even this time, I was like, there's certain people that have to go to suffering and learn their lesson before, and I wouldn't step in on anybody's suffering. Like that's what I'm seeing from God. Like, I'm not gonna act like I know everything, but I know a little bit about something. I understand what lessons, and I feel like he has to go through whatever he has to go through. And this is his own making. It's not like people have not helped him. It's not like people have not given him places. It's just whatever. But she don't want to be. So I get what she's saying, where she's coming from, and I don't want to be selfish either. So again, I take it to God and let Him do what He do. But this time, my response back was that girl. Like I said, I don't know if it's the same girl or not. I did meet her once before, and like I played a game with her. And when he was staying at my family's, the family member was staying at another family member, I went over there with a friend. We played with them like a game or whatever, and she seemed cool. She was real shy. She didn't really say much, and I remember saying to my friend afterwards, I was like, "She seems nice," and he laughed and he was like, "That girl's not nice." Like I was like, "Really?" She's like, "No." He's like, or she said, "How do you know?" Like. And I was like, I don't know. She just seemed, but he's like, she's not. She be cussing him out and all this stuff. Like he hears them on the phone and all the things, whatever. So my friend was staying with them at that time too, like at that other family member's house. So and so yeah, so I seen when I was talking to God this time, like, just give me again. I don't trust, but I'm a little bit more comfortable in being blind. I'm not in that dark space that I was, like, where I'm just everything is heavy right now. Because at that time when he first tried to come here, I was just so depressed, alone, just so, so. Because I was just losing whatever money that I had left. I was heartbroken, living in downgrading the house, and I don't know, future may come. My faith is not with, oh, it's a little shaky, but so he they end up moving in, and I'm watchful of that. Well, like I said something about the girl, but I didn't really like think of it. Like I said, I was like, oh, she's a girl, because I was like, the girl should be fine. It's just a girl. She's pregnant. Well, now she has a baby, and she's not gonna be much of a threat. That's what I thought the first time too. But now God brought it up to my brought it up to me about being watchful of her. Like, you don't know what type of person she is. Okay, I mean, I really don't. I put nothing past nobody. So but I met her this time. She seemed real friendly, real outgoing this time. Really, she's real talkative. She met my dog Murphy. She was like, oh, he's so cute. The litter I got him from, she was gonna get a dog from that litter too, but they didn't have any more girls. They only had one girl, and so she was gonna wait for the next litter, whatever, for a girl. But I guess she took to Murphy. The guy, I asked him for help around, like, okay, oh, would you mind, like, helping me? Because, I needed the help. My nephew was going to start walking, you hear that crack? Walking my dog for me for like another week or two. And so I was desperate for help at that time. Now, at that time, like I said, I got my puppy. I didn't know I never had a dog before. I was in over my head. So I did cuss him out a bit. I'm not going to lie to you. And I did yell at him. And I never hurt my no, I never hurt Murphy ever. Never, ever, 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 ever would I hurt that little dog. Now, have I stepped on him every like a few times when he was a puppy? Yes, on accident. And I felt so bad hearing that little screech. Oh my god, it broke my heart. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Anyway, so but and the only time I got him to be quiet is if I like test him out. But I've tried the gentle part and the silent and please and go to the bathroom. I'm like, Rafi, please be quiet so I can I go do, and then eventually and then he be quiet and stuff. But yeah, if I get angry and stuff like that, but I come down, try to check myself, and I'm like, sorry, Rafi, but like I'm a person, and I was like, man, these anger is just coming out of nowhere. Like, but I think it's because everything was still heavy. The little bit of sight I had left, the very little bit was gone. Or was going right when I got him. I was underestimated what it'd be like to have a puppy. I was like, it'll get better, it'll get better. And it did get better. We're both better now. I don't really have to cuss him out. I don't cuss him out, and he listens, and he doesn't really bark and everything. He don't really have separation anxiety. Anyway, so he did have that separation anxiety, so I had to start putting him downstairs per advice online and my trainer who was helping me learn how to train him. And so I had him downstairs and in the common area in his little playpen, and they probably walk in or hear him barking and stuff because he'll bark at them or whatever. So so I had to do that, and like I have to be more strict with his training. Make sure he's do leash training, be on a leash because I need him to be top notch for me because, especially me because I'm blind and I need to know what he's doing. Or if I like call for him, I need him to come. I need him to listen. So that's just a little back. So if anything, anyway, so they live in here. She seemed all nice and all smiling in your face, and I'm offering them this and that and the third, and they been all da 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 da. And then, oh yeah, then there was a time where he came up and he asked if like where's Murphy's food, and I was like, oh, Murphy's food. I was like, he already ate. He don't need to eat. It's not time for him to eat again because he eats 3 times a day. And this was he didn't. It wasn't time for his noon meal yet. And so he's like, oh, he's already. I was like, yeah. And then he left out my room. That was that. I didn't think anything of that. And so at all. So he and then there was a few times where I they took him to the park. Well, there's a few times where, like I said, I asked for help and stuff. So in the beginning, he would try to come and help. Like, oh, you want me to do this or that? I'm like, yeah, sure. I didn't really actually out after that initial time I asked them, would they mind helping me around? I told them I might ask them to help me with things or whatever. Maybe ask take him on a walk because I can walk him, and my nephew wasn't starting to walk him yet. So they were like, yeah, of course, whatever. So, but I never really actively asked him after that. He was like, oh, you want me to take him on a walk now? Oh, I can do this, blah, blah, blah. You want me to help? And so I'm like, yeah, if you're going to offer it to me, now I'm not the type of person to go ask for help like that or accept help even when it was offered like that. But I was in a desperate space and I wanted my dog to be able to go on his walks. I needed him to get that exercise and stuff. Because I was just scared of him becoming overweight or underweight or just whatever. I didn't want him to develop any diseases. So they said he needed to be active and walk a certain amount. I needed him to go do that. And so if that's the way I'm going to get him to do it, then go do it. So but there was a few, I didn't actively ask. So I had a routine. I wake up in the morning, I take him outside, let him go do his business, go feed him, and do some training with him, and then come back in. So he'll see me. I guess my, family member will be like downstairs eating or something. He'll see me coming in or out. And he's like, oh, I'll take him on a walk in a bit or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, 5 minutes or whatever. He give me time. I'm like, okay. So now I'm waiting for him to do that, and I'm trying to see is he gonna go do that now or what. I wait like a nice amount of time, 20 minutes, at least 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, because I don't want to feel like I'm rushing somebody to do something they don't have to do. This is my responsibility. That's how I felt, and I don't want to force nobody to do anything they don't want to do because this is my dog. I'll figure it out. I take him outside and walk around with him if I can, whatever, on the leash and do the leash training, whatever. So he he would do that, and I would just accept. And then, so if it takes a little too long, and it's like throwing off what I have already planned or what I have to do, because it's ways I have to certain ways I have to do things, and so I would like, hey, are you gonna take him or like what? Like, let me know. Oh yeah, yeah, 10 minutes, whatever. And then each time it got a little longer. I knew it wasn't gonna last that long. I knew it was just like the beginning and the front thing where they'd be nice, but whatever. That was nothing that was going to phase me. I didn't really mind that. You don't have to. It's not your responsibility. I wasn't mad or nothing about that. I had no issues with that at all. So he, so yeah. So I also know there was a time where like went to the park. They went to the park without. I was gone. I went to the store with my mom. We came back. There's a park on the way. We seen him at the park with him, and I was like, okay, well at least Murphy got to go to the walk, but they just took him without asking. Okay, but okay, I'm happy he got to go to the park. Then we left again, came back, and he's not in his. They're not at the park, but he's not in his pen. I went to go check my room. He's not in my room. I'm like, where is he? He was in the room with them. He comes right out. I was like, okay. Felt a little like, why is he in the room with y'all? I think there was a few days before where she did ask if he could take him. Or what's this after? No, I think it was before that. Take him into the room with them. Yeah, take them in the room with them. He came and said, hey, my girl wants to know if he can come in the room with us and blah, blah, blah. So I had him downstairs. And I went downstairs to go do his training and feed him and then bring him back upstairs because I had him downstairs for a certain amount of time before I brought him back up. And so I was like, I was a little bit like, why are you asking? That's a little weird to have my dog in the room with y'all. And I don't trust it that y'all, yeah, they're kind of dirty. And so I knew they wasn't going to watch him, make sure he don't pew or pee or pick him up to go take him outside to poo or pee. And since he was not potty trained. And so but I said, yeah, I was like, okay, even though I felt a little weird about it. And then a few days later was when the dog was actually, well, they ended up not taking him in the room because they were eating or whatever. And I was like, okay, and I ended up bringing him up. A few days later, he's in the room with them after they took him to the park or whatever. And so I'm trying to have him be used to not. I was thinking like, why is he in the room? I'm like, even at that time when they asked, I was like, she trying to get him used to her, like to get like attached to her or something. Cause he would always say how, oh, when they go on a walk, he loves my girl, and this, that, and the third. And the first time he said it, I was like, okay, oh, that's nice. Cause Murphy's for the street. He loves everybody. He loves people. He's a playful dog. He loves everybody. So that I was just like, okay. And then he kept saying it more and more, like over the few days, and I'm like, okay, like what are we getting at here? Why it just started making me feel a little. I'm like, okay, that's like a little weird. Like you're trying to say something with this, but okay. And but I still didn't really think too much of it. I mean, like I'm thinking these things, but I'm just like whatever. So after I got him from the room, I went upstairs to try to train him and do his feeding because it was time for him to eat. He was not. He was doing a little bit of training, but he was not eating. And I was like, oh my gosh, is something wrong? I think I did shots before, like his shots not too long before, like a few days before, and I was like, is there something wrong? He don't want to eat it, blah 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 blah. I'm scared. Any little thing's gonna set me off. I don't want nothing to be wrong with him. So I went to go just stop training. I just gave him the bowl of food, just let him eat it directly, and he would not eat it. My mom was like, he's sniffing it, but he's walking away. I'm like, what's wrong? Is he like, did they feed him something? She's like, they probably did. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, maybe something's wrong. Let's wait till later and see if he eats. And he ate later. He ate his last meal of the day, his dinner, and I'm pretty sure they fed him. I went down there and asked him. I said, not to him, I remember asking. I was like, did y'all feed Murphy? And he said, no, why? And I was like, because he's not eating, and I'm worried or whatever. And but that no, why I don't know. He was trying. They was feeding him everything. He probably fed him whatever they had, and I don't like that. I don't even think that's food that humans should be eating, let alone my dang dog. So, anyways, I'm like, I was mad. I was heated. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was mad. So I let's fast forward. I'm already feeling. They kind of got a little weird and silent. They're not being as friendly as they was anymore. Silent as heck, and not saying nothing. Moving real shifty around this place. So but I was just like whatever. So they, his little sister came over and she was in there talking with them, whatever. And my mom called her out to come out back with me because I was going out back to do some training or let Murphy run around, and so she can just go back there and help me. She's back there, and I'm talking to her about how talking about her dog and my dog and how I feed him 3 times a day and how I've been watching all these videos and how the trainers and this and that and the third. And she's like, yeah, and she's real quiet and timid. We didn't really speak. So come to find out, a few days later, my sister in law comes and she's like, "Girl, I gotta tell you something." I'm like, what? She's like, they in there plotting on your dog. I'm like, who? She's like, those. I was like, I knew it. I was like, I knew I wasn't tripping. I knew I was excited because I knew. I was like, I was telling you, and I was like, I knew it because it was a little weird, and it was just subtle things, but I I was peeping it, and so I'm real observant, observative. Oh my gosh, I'm saying it wrong. But anyways, even when I could see it, I've always been quiet, so I can just watch people. I thought I heard something, but I kind of noticed things a little bit. So yeah, she was telling me that, and I wanted to say something to him, but she was like, "Don't say," because she wasn't supposed to tell me. I don't know why she wasn't supposed to tell me, but I just found out they was telling his little sister that I don't feed him, and I was starving him, and that they were gonna take him. That she liked the way he looked. She was like, "Why don't you just take one from get one from the one of the others that was in the litter?" She was like, "No, I want him." She likes the way he looks. And I think she was feeling herself a little too much, thinking that he loves her. No, baby, he don't. But yeah, I think she was trying to get him attached to her, and that she wanted him. And but she said when she leaves, she's taking him with her. Like she's taking him. She's taking Murphy. She likes the way he looks. And they were both in there talking about how I don't feed him and that I'm abusive. So we got, his sister thinking I'm a monster. So she went and told her dad. So that's how he got back to me because she was like, somebody take that dog. Like, because they were the ones that got it from me because she was telling the people who got it from me and for me. And so her dad wasn't the one that got it for me, but the ones who got it for me, she was trying to tell them, like, whatever. So I'm like, but they know that was all lies because I was the one that was out here doing it. She was like, no. So my sister in law, they're the ones that got them for me. She was like, that don't even sound right because I'm on top of it. The training, I'm on top of the feeding. She was like, I was the one who told her about how to. She also had a puppy, and I was the one telling her about how the research I found, feeding them and the meals and the this and the that and all the thirds, and I was, I always expressed to her my concerns and all that stuff and what I was trying to do and things. And so she already knew that was a lie. She just because they never seen me feed them, the food's in the room. I feed them in my room, and I feed them 3 times a day, or I take them outside and train them and feed them like that. They never see me feed him, but doesn't mean he does not get fed. That dog did not look. He did not look not like that dog looked like he was fed. He was one of the bigger ones, and she was trying to like he's anorexic, and no, he was not. He was probably getting overfed. If I'm being for real, I was feeding him a little too much, but that's the story. I did take it to God, um, and I was talking about it because I was over here like, man, I gotta lock, get a lock on my door and lock it because I didn't have a lock at the time, and I was afraid they might come break in or like come into my room thinking I because I can't see and stuff, and they just take him and stab me up or something like that, and go run off in the middle of the night. I was so worried that they was gonna try to take my doggy. Like I got him, he was a gift from God. And he was my companion to me. Y'all really just want to try to take somebody's dog like that? A blind person dog? Like who does that? Who does that? Like, are you for real right now? I was worried about because he was a Yorkie and he's cute, and I was worried about some stranger might try to snatch him off of the street if he runs up on him or he runs away or something like that. If he gets out or something. And it was the people in my house that came in here, and they was literally first thing they did was want to try to take. They wasn't even in here for a week. They was here for a couple of weeks, and maybe like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks before she was gone, and then like 3 or 4 weeks before he was gone out of here. So God did not let that happen. The way they got out of here was only God. I took it to him. I was like, "See, I knew it." But if you want more story time, I don't really have many story times, whatever. But if you want more story time, go ahead, leave a comment, like, and subscribe for that. I do have a story about his sister because she came and lived with us shortly not after. Thought she was gonna be a little better, but I was wrong. Not to judge people, but that's that shit get crazy. I was not expecting it. I was very sheltered and stuff, and now that I'm blind, all this stuff want to come to my door. Like, are you for real? So if you want to hear about that story, I can go ahead and do a story time on that one. Go ahead and drop a comment down below to let me know. Thanks so much if you made this far for listening. I tried to say it as fast as I can and just get the essential parts out. But yeah, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thanks for listening to another video of being blackout with blackout. Let's get it, let's go, let's get it, let's go. Adios, adios, adios.